Hello, everyone. I'm here with my close personal friend, basically a brother. Oh, quiet. I'll kick you again. O.R.Ash. Thank you for being here, man. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing okay.
Well, it's easier to breathe without the gag on, but yeah.
You leave my fantasies out of this. We were just talking
Improv.
Hey, jazz hands. We were just talking about how we do this every time. Is that we hop on and I'm like, we can't say anything until we start recording, and then I'm like, so how was your day? And then we talk about everything that I wanted to capture on recording, and then I'm like, all right, let's start.
And then we're here, and it's just like, we got to pad out an hour. What are we going to talk about?
I'm like, so what do you think about this? You're like, Stern, we just talked about this. I'm like, hey, shut up.
Hey, no, this is the first time I've ever brought this up, ever.
Well, I do have some things that I was hoping we could discuss. First off, right off the bat, I want to talk about something that I was like, there's no way that either of us have spoken to each other about this. We're going to be okay. Spirit Airlines.
I did hear recently that it deceased, yeah?
Yeah, that's a way to put it. Spirit Airlines, or as it's now known, Spirit Halloween Airlines.
That's fantastic.
Is done. It's done. Alexa, stop.
Stop Spirit Airlines.
Stop them now.
Stopping the airline.
I think if I told my robot, like, stop airline, I think I'd immediately wind up on a list.
It's that whole thing of Alexa, every time you give it a command, it does the, okay, but it's a lot more hesitant. It's just like, okay. What does that mean?
I made the mistake recently. I went to my grandmother's birthday, and I was like, what do I get her for her birthday? What do you get the woman who has everything? And I decided I would get her an Echo Dot. And it was immediately faced with the, like, how do I connect this? And I was like, I just bought myself a chore.
Yeah. Anytime I do a tech gift for anyone in my family, I just go ahead and set everything up on it before I even give it to them to save myself time.
Well, it was like, she was like, how do I hook this up? And my first immediate response was, well, my cousin could help you. But here's the other thing. I went to Target to pick it up, right? I was like, I'm going to go get this at Target. And I was like, I'm going to stop by the Pokemon aisle. Because Pokemon and Target have a partnership right now. And you'll never guess what I found.
Huh.
Nothing.
The scalpers got there?
I walked in and I was like, I wasn't intending to come here for this, but they set the stuff up recently, I think, so I'll go and check it out. And it was empty to the point that I asked a worker, I thought that this event had started this morning. Is it not started yet? And he says, it's all gone. Like, they took everything to the point that I thought, they haven't put anything out yet.
Oh my god. That makes me so sad. Because, like, back in the day, you'd be able to just go into a shop, and even if you didn't know an event was going on, seeing all this stuff and discovering it and picking up some stuff you didn't plan on, like, that was really cool. But, like, now, because it's not even just cards anymore when it comes to Pokemon for the scalpers. It's the jackets and backpacks. There's Pop-Tarts now. I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day and saw someone is trying to bulk sale the Pokemon Pop-Tarts. It's like 20 boxes for $50 or something.
And how were they?
I didn't buy them.
I was people like, and you know what? I almost didn't even get them.
Yeah, you just hear me chewing. I'm like, you're really dry, but like...
Well, I went like the day after because I had to pick up a new microwave. A whole separate thing. But I went in and it was nothing again except for a full shelf of Pokemon-themed Pirate's Booty snacks. which I don't know if you
my
have the
God.
like the popcorn like puffs.
The popcorn,
And it was
yeah.
just that. Nothing else. To where I was like, what's wrong with specifically this product?
Have you had it?
I haven't. Is it not great?
This podcast is not brought to you by Pirate's Booty Popcorn. It's called Booty because it tastes like ass.
This podcast is brought to you by anyone who is the competitor of Pirate's Booty. I don't know
We'll
if
shit
that's
talk them
like
for fun.
I
But
don't know
you
if
can
that's
give us
like
money too.
packing peanuts or like Uline. Like
Ugh.
anyone who delivers anything that's better than Pirate's Booty. At some point, they're gonna ask me for like, hey, we'd like to sponsor you. We just have to look through your videos, and I'm just gonna say, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me.
There's gonna be like, because you can do that thing in the YouTube editor where you just like cut out like a certain section of the video or whatever, because sometimes people do that for like music copyright by accident. It'll just be like, we'll be starting saying the thing, and then it'll cut mid-word and then immediately jump to whatever the next topic was.
This video is brought to you by Pirate's Booty, the best snack in the world. We love Pirate's Booty. Freaking Target has Pirate's Booty.
I love that. Oh my god.
But yeah. So that happened. We got here at some point from Spirit Airlines.
Spirit Airlines, Spirit Halloween,
Spirit Halloween.
Target. Yeah. I don't remember how we got here. That popcorn's terrible, though. But with Pokemon, yeah, just any and everything right now is just flying off the shelf to the point that I'm like, I'm not even gonna try to get official stuff anymore. If I can get something, that's cool, but like, I like fan artists and I like supporting fan artists. If I see a thing I like, I'll hit up their merch store or something like that.
Well, like, the thing is, too, with, like, the scalpers and people, it's like, Target is, like, empty. Everything's gone. Pokemon packs are gone. But it's like, the Target that I go to is next door to a card and comic shop. And they're like, we have full stock. Like, no one's come in to buy. I'm like, do people just not know that these stores, like, the scalpers go into Target and they're like, we got it. Get in the car. Go. And I feel like the guy running the shop's like, we have stuff, too.
I feel like with those, it's more so just in like the smaller card shops, they're just better at like sussing out a scalper. Like at Target, it's Target. The person checking them out is not going to care. They're just ringing them up so you can get them out of there. But if someone's running their own card shop, like you're going to want to avoid scalpers and stuff like that, because then that creates a competitive thing for your shop.
Well,
so.
at Target, I feel like it's like, listen, the sooner that all this stuff is out of here, the sooner the nightmare is over.
Oh my gosh, you know what I just realized? No, it's the card shop from next door. They're going to Target, buying everything, and then
I don't want to believe that. I can't accept that as a reality.
Look, it could be. It sounds pretty plausible, and like, oh yeah, we got this item. I thought it was Target exclusive. No, it's not.
Has the Target tag on it.
It scratches it out with a Sharpie.
Well,
that's a Pokeball icon.
Well, here's the bigger problem where it's affecting me and where I'm like, now this is a problem because it affects me. I went in and I don't know if you know, I know you like Pokemon. I've heard that you are kind of a Ben 10 fan. But I went in.
My name is Ash, so like you could tell which one probably.
My name is O.R.Ash, and the O does stand for Omnitrix, and the Ash does stand for Ash.
God, that would have been such a better idea for what O stood for. God, I feel stupid.
Omnitrix recalibrated Ash.
God, that's so.
If you rename yourself, if you rename your channel, I want you to point everyone to right here. Get the timestamp of right here. But I went in, and I don't know if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
Oh, I was when I was a kid. I'm gonna be honest. I hit that stage of like, I'm dyslexic, and everything in this game is confusing to actually play it, so I don't really care. I'll watch the show, but that was about it.
I'll watch the show because Joey Wheeler, I feel, is at the same reading level as I am. So I went in and I was like, I don't know if you know, they released new sets for Yu-Gi-Oh! That finally, after like 30 years, have full arts. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to check that out. So I went to get some, and I was like, they're little boxes of like 5 packs. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to grab a couple of these. And I went to check out, and I'm at self-checkout, and I scanned 2, and then I went to scan the 3rd one. And a thing pops up that says these are limited to, all trading card games are limited to 2 per customer. And the lady who helps at self-checkout comes over, and she goes, yeah, so unfortunately... And she's taking them out of my cart as she's talking to me.
All of them?
Like she's a hostage negotiator. Like she's like, yeah, these are limited to 2 per customer, so I have the 2 on the counter, and she's taking the other like 2 out of my cart. And she's like, so unfortunately we can't. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that applied to like this. I thought it was just the Pokemon stuff because I know that's going insane. And she goes, yeah, no, we have a lot of signs up, so you should have been able to see it. And I'm like, well, no, I'm different. I'm not a monster. I'm a regular person.
I'm a nerd. I like this stuff. I don't care about money.
These are for me. Like, listen, I don't care about money. If I did, I wouldn't be buying... I'm a regular guy. I'm buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and a microwave. I clearly didn't come in here with a plan. Like, this isn't all part of some Grandmaster scheme.
You're just like, no, trust me. Look, I would have bought it from the scalper in the parking lot, but like he didn't have the set I wanted. So like, I'm not scalping, I promise.
Also, again, to defend myself, the whole trading cards section, all the Pokemon was gone. And the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff was full. Clearly no one coming in cared about it. So I was like, I'm going to grab a couple. And they're treating me like a criminal. And I'm like, you wouldn't have as many problems if you treated everyone like this. Just because I'm someone in here trying to support, I don't know, Konami and Black & Decker. Like, suddenly I'm the monster.
The collab of the lifetime. Get the all-new Exodia toaster oven.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, I've been here buying the cheapest microwave you sell and 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Card sets. Does it look like I'm a guy who has some form of plan of what I'm trying to... I'm both the guy trying to save money by getting the cheapest option you have, and the guy who's like, and I can afford a couple... Leave me alone!
Dude, just do I look like a guy with a plan? I'm just imagining the Heath Ledger Joker bit, but like he has a microwave and card packs with him. Do I look like a guy with a plan?
I'm just a dog chasing cards. I don't know what to do if I ever caught one, because I never have and likely never will again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it just... In all honesty, when it comes to I feel like with how, because again, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Pokemon popularity and scalping and stuff, I feel like when it's people that are like disconnected from it and like this person doesn't know anything about the cards or the franchises. All they know is that their manager told them that there's people trying to fucking scalp cards and they have to not let them, da-da-da. They don't know the differences. They don't really care. They're just doing their job. And they probably have to do it a lot if they're having to put up signs about it. So I kind of get where they're coming from. But at the same time, it's just like, ugh, that sucks.
The way you explain it is like, it feels like it's, it feels like it's one of those like creepypastas, like, I went to work at Target and now I'm facing off against an Appalachian ghost spirit. It's like, all right, welcome to your first day at Target. We're glad to have you. We hope that everyone's ready for a good day. Several people will be coming in later, and you need to stop them from...
There's a reason we're called Target, because now you've got one on your back.
That's the title of this podcast, by the way, is that we're putting targets on our backs. We're going to have a great day. We're going to have an awesome time. There's a sale going on in menswear. Legos are buy one, get one 10% off. If the ghouls find their way into the store, you need to do everything in your power to stop them.
I'm just imagining they're having like their in-store little Starbucks before starting the day, and like they open the door and just one of these massive like 50-year-old men in gym shorts and a hoodie. You guys have the new Shining Rivalries packs in stock. Like, get out of my face, man.
They're just like, I got it this time. They're just getting a big stick. Get back. Back.
What we're describing is a Meat Canyon cartoon at this point.
And like,
pretty sure
art imitates reality.
Oh, God. Now, something to slightly veer topic ever so slightly.
Oh, please. I beg of you.
In the sense of stuff selling out, something that happened recently that I'm very happy about. Time for me to talk about Ben 10 a little bit. Recently, Dynamite Comics is starting their new run of their new Ben 10 series.
Yes.
And like the first day they released was like 2 days ago, which we're recording on a Friday. That was a Wednesday. The first day they put out an announcement saying that all copies that they had printed for like the release sold out everywhere.
Surprisingly not surprising, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. First off, that's the type of like an item selling out that I'm happy about, because that's fans supporting it, and hopefully not scalpers. There are like a dozen different variants of cover that you can get for this first issue and stuff like that. So I know a couple people were buying multiple issues and stuff, but the fact that it's the first issue, literally the first day it drops, and they sold out everywhere is crazy. It makes me so happy.
What a sad free comic book day for many small children and full-grown adults like you and I.
No, they can still have one of the copies of the various Batman or Spider-Mans for free. The Ben 10, though. I'm happy I got my foil variant while I could.
Good for you, man. See, here's the thing. I wanted to come in today, and I knew that this happened. I knew that, like, the new Ben 10... But I didn't want to hop in and be like, we got O.R.Ash here, so we're going to talk about Ben 10. Can we talk about Pokemon? No!
Well, actually, I heard that Target had these new... No! We're talking about Ben 10. No, I get it. I appreciate it.
Big poking stick again. You're back in your Ben 10 corner.
Pushing me into the Omnitrix back.
So how is it? What do you think about it? Because I know it was like people were saying like, oh, it's in the absolute Batman vein of being hyper edgy and it's trying really hard, and people were scared about that. But how do you feel?
Okay, so I think a clarification wise, when they say absolute, at least from the team that like, because again, this is like Man of Action, all the original people who made the first Ben 10 series are back doing this. When they are using the term absolute, they're meaning in the sense of like, this is what they wanted Ben to be, and like this is the refined, perfect version of the series that they're hoping for. Like with this, it is definitely more gritty and edgy looking in the art style alone. But it also seems like it has a little era of like a cosmic horror to it a little bit. Like, I will keep spoilers to the very utmost minimal. But like when he transforms, Ben feels it in this, and he says it's a weird feeling, and the transformation sequences are really like grotesque looking, and like, oh, I'm very much digging it so far. I will say the art style isn't exactly my favorite, but like it is still really cool. It's very solid.
Well, and I feel like Ben 10 has always kind of tiptoed around those aspects of, like in the original series, like when he transformed, like I see the screen caps all the time, people like taking pictures of him mid-transformation, and they're like, oh god. Yeah. But I feel like they've tiptoed around that, and like we know that like in, I think it was Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, one of the two, you'll correct me, it's okay.
I will.
They bring like Dagon in as an enemy, and it's like, this is crazy, and they're like, yeah, he's another worldly eldritch abomination. So it feels like it's a storyline or a structure of story that the series has tiptoed around and throughout, through the several different iterations of the story. And I mean, art-wise, they've changed art direction a dozen times, but I feel like each time they've kind of kept the same, like, there's a story that we want to tell. It is, art-wise or not, the story, writing, and feel of the story has always kind of felt similar. I was surprised by even, like, Reboot, where, like, it was like, oh, they're going with some pretty intense, but not quite as intense, obviously, it's very much a kid's show type of stuff, like with like Gax and that type of idea of like who you are, who you're trying to be, and that inner voice type of dialogue type stuff. So I feel like the writing, especially with Man of Action stuff, has always been really, really strong, regardless of the art direction. Is that fair?
Oh, 100%. Because, like, I know with every... This is calling out the fan base itself a little bit. Sorry, guys, but I've had to deal with you. But the...
How so?
It's kind of like with Doctor Who. Every time there's a new Doctor that comes out, everyone, all the like diehard fans will complain about it at first, then get used to it, fall in love with it, and then the next Doctor comes in and it restarts the cycle all over again. Same thing happens with Ben 10. I do think like the best balance is honestly the original series, but again, that is the stem point of everything that we know of it, so we are always going to compare every iteration individually to the original. But yeah, I feel like Ben 10 can work in various art styles, because Omniverse was the biggest jump in art style in like an actual like real-time type of thing, because like yes, UAF changed the art style, made it more simplistic for like animation and budget and stuff like that. It still was pretty decent for what it was. It almost had like a Justice League Unlimited type of feel to it, where you can still convey all of the writing and character actions and acting through it without it being like distracting by the designs. Omniverse, they changed it pretty drastically, and I'm going to be honest, at first I was not into it. I was like, what the hell is this? It's so colorful. It's so blocky and weird. But I'm gonna be honest, with the writing and even in Omniverse, they do a bunch of development of like the worlds and lore and just more information about stuff in universe that isn't even important to the plot. I actually like Omniverse more than UAF, and people give me shit for that. But it's not my favorite art style, most definitely, but like it's not bad. Even with the reboot, it's not the greatest art style. It's not my favorite. It's also not terrible. But they do so many things in the reboot that are just fun. Like, you can tell that they use the reboot to test out different ideas they had for other series. Like, one of which was, they even went on record saying that with Kevin, in the reboot, instead of being an Osmosian that absorbs abilities and DNA and stuff like that, instead he has his own watch called the Antitrix, and he's got his own, like, twisted versions of the aliens, da-da-da. They said that that was the original idea for Kevin. And then over time, it turned into, like, the mutant thing, and the Osmosian thing in the original series. But, like, that's just a thing they wanted to play around with in the reboot, because they still like the idea. Or, like, having Vilgax as, like, a mentor figure to Ben for a little while was really interesting. The Fulmini introduction, Shock Rock, for those who don't know, is very similar to Ziskare being, like, trapped in the Omnitrix trying to break his way out. Instead, the Fulmini are in the Omnitrix and are leaking out and trying to use it as a hub to, like, bring their people to Earth and take over and stuff. It's just playing around with the similar building blocks and, like, different types of ideas with it. And I think that's part of why, in general, it doesn't really matter what the art style is in Ben 10. It's still entertaining, to me at least. Some people might not agree. They see the reboot transformation sequence and they're like, ugh, and then leave. And I'm like, bro, the way they have him animated turning into aliens in the reboot, I'm probably gonna get shot for this, but like it's more entertaining than the transformation sequences in Alien Force.
Oh, I think
where Ben
so.
just kind of like
curls into a ball and then it like
yeah,
spins.
he
and
hunches
becomes...
over, his ribs stretch, and then it flashes and the alien's there. Cool. But I think like damn near every transformation sequence in the reboot is like an original piece of animation. Or at the least they have like 4 different variants for each alien so they can switch it up every now and then.
Well, and I think like a lot of it with the reboot series is I haven't seen the full reboot series. I know the base structure, all of that, but I think so much of it is it's done by the art style, and you say like, oh well, the transformations, everything was more entertaining. And it's like, well, that was the kind of the point of the reboot was like, let's focus on entertainment. Like story wise, story will be there, characters will be there. There will be changes to the elements that make original Ben 10. But entertainment and the value of like, what if we just kind of had fun with it, I think is there, and you can feel that. You can feel that throughout. Like this just feels fun.
Well, I think too, the one of the biggest things with the reboot is that it's a reboot. It's for a new generation and trying to pull them in. So they're going to be like dancing around all the fun concepts and ideas as much as possible because they're trying to draw in a new audience. Whereas with like UAF and Omniverse, that was more so to like keep appeasing the audience they had at the time, you know? Because like that was a big thing with Ben, like the writing for Ben himself. Because like the beginning of UAF, he's very much more mature than he was as a kid. He's a much nicer person. He's, for long and short of it, he's not an asshole.
Yeah. Well,
like
you get to see
child.
You get to see little dickish kids suddenly become like, oh, he becomes a nice young man.
Yeah, he gets humbled and gets manners. But then they were like, the studio was like, well, people tend to like Kid Ben more. Make him like Kid Ben again. And then they did that with Alien Force Season 3 going forward, but then they would like pull it back on some episodes, they'd make it worse in other. It made Ben a very inconsistent thing, because they were like trying to appease the studios and the fans, and I don't know.
Well, I think it's we want to see the growth of him into the hero that he's always wanted to be, and sometimes that means sacrificing your own ego. And they want to show that. They want to display that throughout the series of growth, but also, I feel like Cartoon Network or whatever other studio interaction is like, they're like, well, we want things to stay stagnant. That's how cartoons work. Is like almost a reset of the character every episode. Because I feel like that's the problem you see with a lot of shows, is they're like, we want people to be able to jump in, even on YouTube. Like, when you do a longer series, like Part 7, you get less views, and they kind of wanted to capture that of like, we want everyone to be able to jump in on any episode, know the characters, know the structure, know the story, and be able to do that. We don't really want a character to grow because that confuses the fans. Because
if
real
they're just
people
jumping in a random episode.
Yeah, because real people don't grow and change.
Well,
I'm just saying that's the way the studio sees it. Is like, we don't.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Want that.
That's fair. I will say, and this is like a semi self plug, so sorry, but with my series I do on YouTube and beyond, we had like a formula down by episode 2. For those who don't know, and Beyond is a little robot guy named Horace that I voice, flying around the multiverse, like cataloging species and planets and their culture and stuff like that. It's based in Ben 10 because I wrote the most fanfic for that growing up. But like, the whole gimmick of it is set in stone. Horace goes to a planet, talks about the species, talks about the culture, and then the episode ends. That's it. But then we did a Halloween special where we cover the entire Enner system, and with that we like indirectly started a little like background story beat with Ghost Freaks' Scare, like coming back and having a plot and everything. And then like episodes going forward, we would drop little like end credit things where it's teasing what he's doing and and those have all built up to And Beyond the movie, which I'm working on currently. And the whole thing with it is like, in complete honesty, we planned on doing like maybe another 8 episodes before the movie. But because of how long production takes with our team, because it's small and I'm very slow at drawing, like, there are people that are like And Beyond because of the formulaic of it and just being able to go in, jump in whatever episode, and then come back out and go wherever else, and it'd be fine. The ones that are on the story, though, the story is taking a long time, and some people are like, yeah, I can't wait for it still. Whereas some are like, it needs to get wrapped up already, which is why we're going ahead and doing the movie as like a big wrap on Sascare's story. Like with the movie, it's going to wrap up his story, and then afterward, we are still continuing to do And Beyond, but we are going back to the formulaic thing, where it's just like a planet or 2 per episode, go in, discover the stuff, da-da-da, and then next episode, whatever you want. So, I understand that angle of it. That whole giant segue aside, sorry.
No, you're fine, please.
I understand completely in the sense of, like, wanting to keep appeasing fans with a story that continues and evolves over time, as opposed to doing a more formulaic, one-off, jump into whatever point type of show. Because, like, that's what And Beyond intended to be. And then we kind of, like, did the Sascare thing. And now I'm making a movie.
Well, and to get meta on it for a second, too. I think as creators and people who make content, there's this weird balance that you feel. And I bring this up because I was talking about it on my live stream just a minute ago that you weren't on. It's okay, I understand.
I was out buying the comic. I'm gonna be fully real. I was going out to my comic shop and getting the thing. I was like, I have an hour.
You're fine. I was talking about it, the idea of like, there's this balance as creators of like what you want to do versus what your audience thinks you should do. Mm-hmm. And it becomes the case there where you're saying like, we have some people who are like, I'm here for whatever you do and I'm excited for it. But you also have people in the comments and the vocal groups or whatever who are like, like you said, wrap it up, do what you got to do and finish up so we can get our story and whatever. Like I make the joke on stream. I say whenever I hop on stream and I am immediately told by people, you should do this as a video, you should do that as a video, it causes me physical pain. And so now I'm nice about it. Someone will come in and be like, you should do Animaniacs is Pokemon. And I go, yeah, sounds great. And then I just whisper into the mic, physical pain.
Dude, no, I understand where you're coming from completely. Because, like, the entire times I was doing my Ultimate series, every single, like, episode of that I dropped designing the Ultimates, like, the first 100 comments on it are like, when's the next one of these? Do an Ultimate way big. Do Ultimate Atomics, da-da-da. And it'd be like saying ones that I even already did. And I'm just like, I understand you want this. I'm working on it. Even now, the Ultimates is wrapped up, and we have people still commenting on those videos, which, please, keep commenting. The algorithm helps immensely. But we still have people commenting on them, be like, do Ultimate way big. I'm like, I did it 2 years ago, dude. Go watch this video. Or even the people that will want something different, be like, hey, you did all the Ultimates. Now do Ultimates for the Nematrix aliens. And I'm like, I'm making a movie right now.
I'm so tired.
To wrap up 5 White. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. It's too damn bad. It's Ben and Grandpa Max in that meme right there. But the fucking, like, I love that people have ideas and want to see certain things, and I appreciate the comments and letting me know what, because there have been times where people will suggest things that I will have never thought of, or I would think that people had no interest in. But then there's a large amount of people that are like, hey, do it. And I'm just like, all right. So I appreciate it, but at the same time, I understand, like, the physical pain of, like, it feels like the Shrek kid, the do the roar, do it type of fucking thing.
Well, and I think it's like, it's hard because it's like, I appreciate it. I do.
Yes.
But I always pick the joke. Say, I'm just a man. Just like
Fucking pull in Epic the musical. I'm just a man.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
type shit.
like people are like, you need to do this one, now do this one, now do this one, and then you should do this. And I just like feel like it's like me sitting at my computer, slowly turning around, long white beard. Just okay.
See, if people have seen in my Drawing Matrix series, I have a little character that pops up every now and then called Fan Dude. He is the voice of the comments. He is the guy that goes, but Ash, what about this? What about this? Can you do this thing? And I'm like, that's you guys. I'm fully aware that you're there. If you don't see me respond in comments, it's because I already fucking know. I'm working on it.
I have a similar thing. I have a little scientist, like the scientist character or researcher from like Pokemon, where it's like it's something I didn't draw. I just like brought it over from Pokemon. It's a little nerdy guy. And he comes
one that holds his glasses and has his elbow out?
Yeah. And he comes in and he'll say stuff where he's like, but Stern, you already drew that like 3 months ago. And then I found out people were like, I love it when you're mean to that guy.
It's like, oh, okay.
I can be meaner.
You don't understand the symbolism of this character.
And so now I am. I am mean to him. Like, he'll come in and I'll have to like write into the script, like, what can I say to him that's mean, but not too mean for the people who like know that's the comments?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't get too real. Because, like, again, you appreciate immensely everyone having interest in it and everything. But whenever it becomes a borderline harassment thing, that's when it becomes a bit of an issue.
Oh, for sure. I think there was one video where I was like, he says something and I go, hey, can I talk to you for a sec? And I like pull him over, and the next scene is him being thrown into lava, and I'm like, all right, moving on. And then the next time he appears, I think he's like covered in like soot.
See, I did a similar thing with the Fan Dude character, because it was like, I knew people were going to complain something about one of my Ultimate Ball Weevil, because it was like, yeah, he has this like new digestion power, or whatever. I knew people were going to be like, that's just Upchuck. So like, as soon he comes up, but Ash, and then Ball Weevil just lobs one of the goo balls at him, and it like melts him down.
Oh, it's so much cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, talking to the cartoon characters that we voiced ourselves. There's not a issue there. Hey, Horace, you ready to fall down the stairs again? Oh, God, please, no.
Hurt me more. I'm like, okay, if you say so.
I have a hover feature. Why can I fall downstairs? Because I want you to.
It's that weird, like, I don't know. I feel like for creators, the relationship with fans, and I feel like I'm pulling you into very dangerous water by being like, don't you hate your fans? No, but it is this dicey type of thing where it's like, again, it's the relationship of what you want to do versus what the audience has come to expect of you, right? So it's like, we expect this, and it's like, yes, but at the same time, as a creator, I'm always trying to do something new and exciting and different while also giving you what you expect from me.
Yeah, it's a lot of people always ask me, either in comments or in person at conventions and stuff like that, they're like, I want to become an artist and I want to do the stuff that you do. Do you have any tips and everything like that? And I'm like,
run
away. Get out of here. Don't even try. No, but like, no, I feel like, because I've never really said it to anyone, but I honestly feel like if you are wanting to do the specific type of art, like you can like doing art and want to do art and get popular with it, but there's a difference between doing that and doing what I do, because what I do is like not only make art for myself, I make it for my audience specifically, and like am constantly weighing like, oh, would people like this? I have this idea that I think is really cool, but I know for a fact people wouldn't like it. Which one do I go with? And stuff like that. I think, yes, I'm an artist and a content creator, but I am also a balancing act of a person. when it comes to stuff like that. Sometimes the stuff will tip one way more than the other, which can be good, but sometimes isn't. And it's just, you got to be able to go back and forth, because when people really like your stuff, it is a good feeling. But then when the people that really like your stuff don't like a new thing you've done, that is not a good, that's like a worse feeling than if they didn't like it initially.
Yeah.
That's like that's the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed type of thing.
One does not balance out to the other, where it's like, well, I got one good comment and one bad comment. It's I got one bad comment.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the balancing act, you can't let the bad comments mess with you. You need to be aware of them sometimes, depending on what it is, but not all of them need to have such a focus on them.
Oh, for sure. It's having to build that mental fortitude, I think, and that's not saying and eventually you'll become impervious to the world.
No.
Yeah.
Everything. It hurts forever.
It hurts forever.
It never stops.
And the calluses never happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to ask something. As I wanted to pivot us away from the dangerous demonetization zone of, or the zone of like commenters being
depression
like,
and
please,
yeah.
That being said, please continue to feed the algorithm. Keep commenting.
I'll just go ahead and start crying into the microphone.
Physical pain. You brought up conventions, and this is like a personal question of mine to you. Is I'm a person who wants to start getting more into conventions, and I feel like a lot of people the same way, where they're like, I'm an artist, I draw, I want to do other thing too. How do I? So I want to ask, like, what is your words? What is your advice for, hey, I'm Stern, I want to start doing conventions. How do I prepare? How do I know when I'm ready? Because I feel like the worst thing is preparing, putting in the stuff. I'll put it this way. I was like, I'm going to build all my stuff for my booth. And then I was like, ooh, several $100s before even paying to go.
Yeah.
And then going and being like, I made nothing back. Like, what is the advice that you give for that?
So with stuff like that specifically, which, by the way, to preface before I say anything, I am not an expert in any regard on this. I've done a total of like 4 conventions by myself, and only 2 of them were profitable. So like, don't take everything with a grain of salt, essentially. But I think with those, you need to look and see what is the actual reasoning you want to do it. Do you want to do it for the profit or for the experience of it?
I thought you were going to say exposure, and I was prepared to just turn myself off.
Dude, okay, I hate the like paying and exposure type thing, but with conventions, like conventions are the one place I feel like the whole like exposure thing actually is a beneficial thing. Not because of like going out and meeting new customers and audience and stuff like that, but meeting fellow artists and becoming friends with them and building connections. The more connections you have in a convention setting, like the easier things feel, at least. Because, like, for instance, I have a pretty good convention friend named Onion. For people want a social media shout out, La Salty Onion on Instagram. She makes all of her own art. She makes all of her own merch from scratch, and it's fantastic. And she was just someone I met as an artist at another convention. We just chit-chat about stuff. And now, like, she gives me heads up of, like, hey, this convention's happening here, and the table fee is this much, or like, hey, do you want to try to collaborate on something, and so on and so forth. And that's the only time that I feel like the quote-unquote exposure of conventions is good, because you can build connections that help you out a lot more. Because with conventions, from a customer angle, it's you go to meet celebrities and buy stuff. For like a creator angle, it feels more like a community thing in and of itself. And artists help artists is what it feels like. Because another stupid thing with that kind of is, like, if I'm a fan of one of my art friends and want a piece of their merchandise, and I go try to buy it, and they're just like, no, give me that thing from your booth. We're doing a trade. Or if anything, half the time people just give me stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. But that's the only kind of good exposure I feel like is with the conventions, is building a rapport with fellow people in the same spot as you. Because they know what you're experiencing and how it feels and everything too, because they're doing it the exact same time as you.
My immediate thought was like Kuro coming back and being like, "Where's our tablecloth?" And you're like, "I traded it for a sandwich."
I totally would too.
Where's our table cover with our logo on it and everything? And you're like eating a sandwich.
I'm just sitting there with cheeks full. I'm just like, I don't know. Sandwich. But, as far as like actual convention type stuff, I do feel like there's a difference between doing it to make a profit and doing it for the experience of it. I personally do mainly because the experience of it. I typically only book like 2 to 3 conventions a year. And with that, it's because I like being able to go out and meet fans and give people a chance to like, not to boast myself as like content creator celebrity, but like people like being able to go out and meet the people that make stuff that they like. So I like giving people that chance while also still being able to shill my art. But I think the biggest advice I would have for, like, it doesn't matter if you're doing it for experience or for profit, is start small. Like how you were talking about putting together a whole elaborate booth thing and it costing hundreds of dollars before you even get there. Whenever we did MomoCon as the Ink Tank, our first ever convention we did a couple years ago, first off, we got invited there, so we didn't have to pay for our flights or hotel. But even with it, our whole setup was just a table with a sign that we got printed that was like $150. It was like a backdrop. And then Rob sat at the table with just cardstock paper and pens and was doing drawings on the spot. That's all we had. We spent very little to get there, to get there and do the thing itself. But we made a decent profit because we kept it small. Since I've been doing conventions kind of solo in more recent years, with those, I started it with straight up copying his thing of drawing on the spot. Mine are called doodles on the spot. And with that, it
legally
was just...
distinct.
Yes, I have a trademarked logo. He doesn't. And it has me on the logo, so you can't say shit. But yeah, no, with my whole setup, it's... at first, it was just my old PC. I would bring a power strip, my PC, my tablet, and a computer monitor to have set up to where they can see what I'm drawing. And that's all my booth was at first, was just doing drawings for like 10, 20 bucks. And that's all I did. I didn't have a big elaborate booth. I had a sign, I had my drawing stuff, and then I had like a couple of prints just showing off like, here's artwork I've done. And I felt really stupid because people would be like, oh, can I buy this? And I was like, no, I don't have more.
That's my only one.
Yeah. But from doing that convention experience, that was like, oh, I should start doing prints. And when I did prints, I think I only did like, the first time I did prints, I only did like 5 designs, and I did 2 conventions with those. I didn't sell a single one of them. So I was like, okay, I don't need to push it on prints. The doodles make the money. But then I went and did some conventions, like just attending it, not working it. I was just there as a customer, like going around talking to artist booths and da-da-da. And I'm gonna be honest, I bought way too many stickers, and everyone was buying way too many stickers. And I was like, huh, it seems like stickers sell really well. Let's try making some stickers. And I made some. and they didn't sell. But my prints started to sell, and I was like, okay, don't know what's working, but something is. So from there, yeah. So from there, the convention after, I didn't make anything new. If anything, I just like made my setup a little bit better, and I started integrating an idea from my friend Wyatt, who's known as WN. He does my booths with me almost every single time now. He's cosplay repair dad. But he had the idea of putting 5 Years Later and Beyond on VHS tapes and playing it on like an old CRT TV at the booth. And that got a lot more attention and getting a lot more people to the booth. And from there, I started selling more prints and selling more stickers. And this past event, this last one I did, NostalgiaCon Houston, which I did just the beginning of April, I sold a bunch of prints, a bunch of stickers, like so many doodles. Typically with the on-the-spot doodles, I do like maybe 20 for an entire convention weekend. And with this last one I did 47. So, yeah. I honestly think what it is just, you can't go all in gun-ho at the beginning of doing these conventions if you're wanting to do them. You have to start small, and then if you get ideas or see that certain things are working, you start integrating them like through a trickle system. Like, you just try to see what works. If it doesn't work, you can shift gears a little bit, see what else works, and test things out and everything like that. Currently, I think my current setup works pretty decent. But in that regard, I also don't really go to like anime conventions. Most conventions I go to are like NostalgiaCon, Retro Games Con, and stuff like that, where it's more just either generalized or focused on cartoons from like anywhere as like the 80s to the mid 2000s. Anime conventions themselves, because I don't draw a lot of anime stuff, the only thing that sells are the custom doodles, and I'm just drawing anime people the entire time. So it's just trial and error is what it is. My biggest advice would be just start small and work your way up. That was a big ramble. I think that was 10 minutes of rambling just to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I'm going to cut that down to like 30 seconds and we'll be good.
Just cut out the entire story time. Cool.
It's going to go, what advice do you have for me? Well, start small, and that's all I have to say about that. Oh, thanks, Ash. I really wish we could have got some more from you, but I appreciate it.
It's like, well, actually, and then the podcast just ends.
What is the most important piece of advice you have? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. The most important piece I could give to anyone wanting to get into this industry is, and we want to thank you guys again for stopping by and being a part of it. I think that that's helpful, because I know, at least for me coming into YouTube, my thought was I have to come into this as if I'm one of the big guys. I have to come. I told myself, and I'll tell this to everybody, because people ask all the time, how do I get started on YouTube? When you treat it like a business, it becomes a business. My biggest turnaround, at least for my stuff, was the day that I decided, what if I put my whole energy into a video, and that became the norm. Was like, oh, and then you kind of adapt to that. But it feels like conventions is kind of the opposite. Obviously, you want to put in your energy, you want to put in as much as you can, but don't go in being like, okay, I see what Marvel has at San Diego Comic-Con. If I can build that day one, I will be successful. And then you walk out like, the money's gone.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing, too, is another advice with conventions. Be realistic and keep track of costs. Because, like, a lot of the time people don't... I had a bunch of people that have asked me about conventions, being like, yeah, you just, like, hit them up in an email, they let you go there and everything. No. If they hit you up as a guest, you can just go. that's cool. That's awesome. That's happened to me twice, and it was fantastic. MomoCon, please hit me up again. But the any other. Yes, you listen to Sturd's podcast specifically. I know.
Okay, now
I
you're
know
getting
Mr.
mean.
Mr. Momo. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
No,
That
you're
was
fine.
mean.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
kidding. You're all right.
But yeah, no, is like be realistic about the costs, because if you're just like not to belittle anyone's like reputation or hard work or anything, but with a convention, if they don't know who you are ahead of time, you're just another like hobbyist artist that they don't really know or necessarily really care about, that is trying to get into their show. They have limited spots. You have to pay for an application. Like with MomoCon, that's my most, or not MomoCon, with NostalgiaCon, that's my most like frequented convention now, and they do kind of know me a little bit now because I've been a couple times. But even with that, application for a table is $250. And then, to apply, yes. Which, depending on how a convention is run, application does not guarantee a table. So with NostalgiaCon, to my knowledge, what I've been told by the representative of it is that with that one, it is a paid, or what is it? It's like upon payment is acceptance. So with that one, it's like once you pay for a table and you get an email back that they got paid, you have a table for sure. It's essentially just a buy-in for the table. Other conventions, you'll have to pay an application fee and then like submit like a questionnaire survey and description and like tell them who you are and your follower counts and stuff like that. And then if they don't think you'd be beneficial for the show, or just don't really vibe with you as much, or they end up filling up before they can announce that they're stopping applications, that money's gone. You paid to apply, not to get a table. So that's definitely something you want to check every time you're trying to go for a convention, no matter what convention it is. Because every convention is run by different people. They have their different ways of going about it. Some of them require like tax information and stuff like that, depending on the area in which you're in. There's so many different little angles. But application... Okay. Application fee is just one of those things, though. Like, something I didn't take into account as well is paying for parking. With NostalgiaCon, the vendor parking is $20 a day, and it's 3-day convention. That's $60 right there. But then if you don't live in the area, a hotel and paying for gas and costs with a convention can definitely stack up. But if you are like realistic, plan things out ahead of time and keep track of everything, I feel like you would do well still. Even down to the art that you make, like ordering prints or stickers and keychains and stuff like that. If you make them yourself in-house, you'll definitely save money, but that's still material costs that you have to do. And there's also a lot of, like what I use is a lot of various companies and stuff that produce stickers, and you can just submit your designs and have them made for you. With that, though, that still costs money. Like with my prints, actually no, better example is my stickers, because I did a lot of stickers at this last show. With those, I can order from the website I used. I could order 100 stickers and break the quantities up into 5 different designs. And those were, I think, $30 for the 100 count sticker. But I did 3 different sets of that because I had 15 new stickers. So that's about $90 for just the stickers alone.
And then you have
which
to do
doesn't
the math
sound like a lot.
Of how much am I selling these stickers for? Would I buy a sticker at that price? Type of mentality.
Exactly. Yeah, because like some stuff, I'll even take into account like the artwork itself, how long it took me, and like the complexity of it and stuff like that. With my prints, most of my regular 11 by 18 prints I sell for about $25. I have one specific Ben 10 one that's the original series and has like every alien of the original series on it, and that took me like a good 5 days to draw in total, so I charged $30 for that one because it took a lot more time than one of my other ones. So there are different various angles to look at it with.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot that goes into it that's not just, I have art and I'm going to the show, which I think a lot of people think or believe is, you know, it's like, well, you have art. How much did it cost for you to print that? How much did it cost, you know, for such? It's math. And I feel like that's across the board, you know. Like I have people who ask all the time, they say like, oh, I want to do what you do. How do I do that? And I tell them, just a heads up, you're probably doing this because you love drawing and you love art and you want to make money off of it. That's fantastic. You're probably the only person who thinks that. 85% of what you're going to do is going to be business, social media, reaching out, being in conversation with people for business stuff, you know, dealing with sending emails to sponsors, getting rejection letters back, things like that. That's going to be 85. Yep. And I'm being really, you know, conservative with that number. That's going to be 85% of your time is that. Like I've told people, they're like, hey, I heard that you were working on this video. When's that coming out? And I have to be honest with them. I'm like, all the art is done. I am not having a good time writing the script. So I don't know, because the part that I don't enjoy, I have to do, or I can bite the bullet, do a different video instead. So I don't know. And it's like, oh, but if the art's all done, isn't the video basically done? I'm like, you fool! You moron! Dude. You buffoon!
Dude, that's like, that is step one of at least like 5 steps in a video.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I did the artwork. Now you gotta write the script. Now you gotta record it. Now you gotta fucking edit it. And then you gotta market it.
And then you have to put it back.
And then make sure people see it.
Then you have to put it onto the internet. And that brings us back to the loop of people being like, now do this.
Exactly. It just, I feel like one of the biggest things too, when people are like, hey, I want to do what you do. I want to be an artist. I'm like, I am an artist, but above all else, at least right now, I am a content creator, which is a collective title. It's yes, I'm a content creator. That means I am an artist. I also am a scriptwriter. I am a voice actor. I fucking edit videos. I do marketing. Like da-da-da. Like there's so many things when it comes to doing stuff like this. And not saying that it has to be this complicated for everybody. Some people do it as a team, like myself. I don't do editing half the time. Thank you, Rob. I love you. But like, you can do simplistic, like if you want to do just like, yeah, I want to do YouTube shorts of drawings. I just want to draw. I don't want to have any audio on it aside for some music. It's just a speed draw. You can post that up and everything. That's awesome. It's not guaranteed that it's going to do super well, though. And not to discourage people from doing that. I love doing those. That's why I started doing the Matrix Minis. But, like, there's certain things that you have to do even if you don't want to, if you want a certain outcome, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, you know, all that stuff going on. I don't even have enough time to have depression, but somehow I'm able to fit it in every single time.
Yeah, it gets into the nooks and crannies of my schedule.
It's like dessert. There's always room.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I have all of this scheduled out for the whole day. And then there's about 45 minutes at the end of the day, right before I try to go to sleep, where the depression just kind of snugs itself in there without me needing to even schedule it.
We're moving around trying to make sure we have time within the schedule. What's this hour here that you have that just says cry? Oh, that can't be moved. That has to. That's like a doctor's appointment.
You can't push that to the next day. You can't push that to the next day? No, because then that's going to be a big cry, and that means I got to clear my schedule for the whole next day.
I can't push it to the next day, because as you can see, there's cry already scheduled for the next day.
Someone, I hate that I do this, but every time like something's funny, my brain meme formats it already. I just imagining the Grinch at his schedule, the 4 o'clock jazzercise, da da da. But it's like depression. I can't move that again.
I can't cancel that again. Yeah, dude. It's. I feel like every time I do this, I'm like, you guys want to learn what it's like to be a creator? Then stop by the podcast. And it's like depression.
Yeah, I will say as well. Yes, this has sounded depressing as all hell this entire time. We were talking about fucking Pokemon cards and Pop-Tarts and stuff earlier. Now we're depressed. But like, it is still extremely fun doing all of this.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when I say depression, yeah, there's hard times, but I'm still enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm proud of the work that I do.
And I'm proud of the work that you do too.
Thanks, man.
It's why I tell people
Never seen
that
one
I
of your
did
videos.
No, it's fine. Half the time, that's what happens. Is it's like, yeah, we'll talk about something. They're like, yeah, and you know, like when I did this video, I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I have not seen it. And they're like, oh, okay.
Dude, I feel bad, but it's also kind of funny because I'll have friends that do this stuff too, and they'll be like, "Oh, you saw the new video?" I'm like, I'm be honest, when I'm not making stuff, I have to unplug for at least 2 hours a day so like my brain can rest. I haven't watched YouTube in like a month. Like, it's such a weird balancing act.
Oh, I'll do the same thing. I'll watch like I'll have a show on and I'll finish the show within like a day while I'm working. And then my wife will come home and she's like, "Do you want to watch this show?" I'm like, "Oh, I watched it earlier." She's like, "Oh, how was it?" I'm like, "I have no idea."
Yeah, dude, for anyone out there that wants to try to get through One Piece quickly,
Become an artist.
just yeah, do animation and just have it on in the background. You'll be able to finish about 28 episodes in a single day. I'm currently on episode 37. I started on Tuesday.
I'm currently on episode 37. I started an hour ago. Yeah, dude, well, I you know what, Ash? I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you giving us the lowdown on Target. They're coming after us.
You gave me the lowdown on that. I didn't tell you. I didn't know that.
Well, thank you for being my, what is it? I was going to say support animal, but I almost said thank you for being my seeing eye dog on the situation with Target and talking about all this stuff. I've learned a lot. I think we've all learned a lot. We've lived, we've laughed, we've loved, and we water for elephants.
What?
I don't know. I grew up in a very different house. Our house, we didn't have live, laugh, love in the kitchen. We just had a giant sign that said eat. So things are very different. I don't know why I felt I needed to bring this up, but in the car I thought I should let my audience know that my mom's favorite movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and just let them move on with that knowledge of my childhood.
What? I mean, I feel like that's one of those things of like, it's a fact, and then they watch you so regularly and are like, why does he do these things? And then they get that fact and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that it wasn't even like the murder or anything. She just liked seeing a family be able to enjoy a similar hobby together.
Shut the fuck. That's horrible.
Like, at least they're happy.
Just imagining the trailer for one of those movies, but it's with like very upbeat, therapeutic, like YouTube marketing music.
Everyone's family has their quirks, and it's just scenes from the movie, but this family works together to accomplish a goal that some would say is impossible. Just like waving the chainsaw around.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate us talking, man. I hope that I hope we can have more of these.
Thank you, man. I thank you for having me on. I do like doing these a lot. They're very fun.
Yeah.
Just chit chatting.
I was on my live and I was talking about that. I was like, I have to work later. My work is just me calling my friends and talking to them.
Yeah, no, this is also the only time we ever just like speak. So like, yeah.
Apart from this, we just like message each other and we're like, still alive.
Excuse me, I'm surviving. Are you? No, I'm kidding.
That's the I'm surviving. Are you? No. Cut to black. Thank you for being here.
That.
Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Not just to me, but to Ash on the Ink Tank as well. That's that's the place they can find you, apart from like your Instagram, which is fully you.
Yes, my YouTube wise, the Ink Tank. We also have the Rust Bucket. We don't do a lot there currently, but go follow the Ink Tank. We got a lot of big projects coming out this year. Please watch them live. Don't get spoiled.
If you feed the algorithm and comment on the Rust Bucket, they'll have no choice but to just do twice as much work in half the time.
That's fine. Get us to 500,000 on the Rust Bucket too. That'd be dope. Thank you.
Are you guys at 500,000 on Ink Tank?
565,000.
Must be nice. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Follow him everywhere.
Not home though. Bye.
His address is.